That morning, I walked into the office already bracing myself for the day, my face stiff and swollen, my jaw throbbing so badly that even breathing through my mouth sent sharp reminders of the night before. I had learned how to move through pain quietly, how to carry it without letting it spill into my work or my parenting. Pain, like exhaustion, had become background noise in my life, something you acknowledge briefly, then ignore because stopping wasn't an option. I truly believed no one would notice, and even if they did, I was used to being overlooked. What I wasn't prepared for was the moment that shattered that belief entirely. Before I could even reach my chair, before I could sit down and hide behind my computer screen, she appeared. Not with a meeting agenda or a list of demands. Not with that cool, distant authority she wore like armor. She appeared, holding a breakfast tray, still steaming, the warmth rising into the air between us. In that instant, standing there with my bruised face and my carefully constructed invisibility, I felt something crack open inside me. And I wondered, for the first time, how long I'd been wrong about the woman I worked for. Let me back up. My name is Ryan Cole, and for the past 3 years, I've worked as the personal secretary to Audrey Lancaster, CEO of Lancaster Consulting. To most people, the word secretary brings up images of phone calls and calendars. But working for Audrey meant something else entirely. It meant anticipating problems before they existed. It meant knowing her schedule so well that I could feel when a meeting would run long before it did. It meant precision, speed, and never letting anything slip. Audrey was relentless, and the job demanded the same from me. It was exhausting, but it was stable. And when you're raising a 6-year-old on your own, stability becomes the most valuable currency in the world. My son's name is Eli. He's the reason I wake up before sunrise and the reason I keep emergency snacks in every bag I own. He's the reason I learned how to cook meals that look fun enough for a kid to eat and nutritious enough for me not to worry. His mother left when he was 2. No dramatic fight, no long goodbye. Just a note on the counter, and silence where a life used to be. I spent months afterward operating on autopilot, grieving something I didn't fully understand, while trying to be everything my son needed. Somewhere along the way, survival turned into routine. Routine turned into competence. And competence turned into isolation. I stopped asking for help because I didn't have time to explain my life to anyone else. The boxing came later. A suggestion from a coworker. A gym with a flickering neon sign a few blocks from my apartment. I walked in one night after Eli fell asleep. Not knowing what I was looking for. Only knowing I needed somewhere to put everything I couldn't say out loud. Hitting the heavy bag felt like permission to exist in my body again. To feel something real. Pain, yes, but also release. I never told Audrey about any of that. Our relationship didn't allow for personal details. She was efficient, controlled, and distant. People called her cold, and I understood why. She didn't waste energy on small talk or office bonding. But she was fair, and fairness mattered to someone like me. The night before that morning, I sparred with someone bigger, faster, and reckless. I stayed in longer than I should have. Pride will do that to you. The punch came fast and hard, rattling my jaw and my sense of judgment. By the time I got home, the pain had settled deep into my bones. Eli noticed the bruise. Kids always do. I lied gently, kissed his forehead, and told him everything was fine. It wasn't. By morning, the swelling was impossible to hide. I thought about calling in sick. Then I thought about rent, tuition, and responsibility. So I swallowed painkillers and showed up. Audrey noticed immediately. I saw it in her eyes before she masked it. But she said nothing. Not until later. Not until concern slipped through the cracks of her professionalism. When she finally asked if I was all right, the question felt foreign, uncomfortable. I deflected like I always did. I expected her to accept it and move on. Instead, she watched me, really watched me. And then she disappeared into her office. When she came back holding that tray, the world tilted. Breakfast, real food, not something ordered, not something delegated, something she had made, for me. I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to accept it. But I ate, and with every bite, something softened inside me. The pain eased, the fog lifted, and I realized how long it had been since anyone had taken care of me without expecting something in return. Later, she told me about her childhood, about foster homes, and learning too early that weakness was dangerous. She saw herself in me, she said. The pushing through, the silence, the refusal to rest. That conversation changed everything. Not all at once, not dramatically, but subtly, like light creeping into a dark room. She sent me home early that day. Forced me, really. The next morning, she insisted I take time off. Not as a favor, as a decision. I fought it. Lost. And for the first time in years, I rested without guilt. Over the following weeks, things shifted. Audrey didn't become warm or overly expressive. She was still herself. But she checked in. She asked about Eli. She respected my boundaries and quietly protected my workload when she could. And I learned that strength doesn't disappear when you let someone see you struggle. The bruise faded. The pain healed. But the lesson stayed. I realized I didn't have to earn care by breaking myself. That stability doesn't mean suffering in silence. That sometimes the people we label as cold are just survivors who learned to lock their hearts for too long. And maybe you're listening to this right now, carrying your own invisible bruises, showing up every day because someone depends on you, telling yourself you're fine because stopping feels impossible. If that's you, let this be your reminder. You don't have to collapse to deserve rest. You don't have to bleed to be worthy of care. Strength isn't about how much pain you can hide. It's about knowing when to let someone in. If this story touched you, if it reminded you of yourself or someone you love, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this are shared to remind us that even in the quietest moments, kindness can change everything.